Welcome back to On Texas Football. Welcome back to your Sunday night live stream. I'm lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers. Pleased to be joined by the estimable Jerry Hamilton. Yes, I know Longhorn fans still riding that high of the recent commitment of Landen Williams-Callis, so we'll get into that. We'll talk about it. LWC. As a matter of fact, Jerry, this is why Jerry is the man, because Jerry hooked up a very special guest coming up for us at 7:45. Jerry, you want to tell the folks who's coming on with us at 7:45?
Yeah, Coach Brian Randall, the head coach of Randall High School in Richmond, Landen Williams-Callis, the head school he goes to, head coach, Coach Randall, state champion. They won the state championship in 24-25 season. They beat South Oak Cliff in that state championship. Last year, they got back to that state championship, lost to South Oak Cliff, and they begin the season with South Oak Cliff in 26 days. So it's kind of crazy there. But we will get Coach Randall's thoughts on his star and Houston legend running back, Landen Williams-Callis. Rod, I don't know if you've seen it, but we have an interview up on Texas Football YouTube with Jaquiz Rogers, who is his cousin.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and Jaquiz talked about Landen and kind of in Jaquiz's process as a running back and what Landen's going to have to do and kind of his thoughts on Landen. You know, the one thing that came out in that interview, Texas was his favorite growing up.
Oh, hey, come on. Well, I will say, okay, when
he was at that age too. That was the right.
Yeah. What year did he come out though? Because I'm trying to figure out what Texas was recruiting that running back then.
I think Quiz came out. Hold on.
And shout out to our friends over at Prize Picks, by the way, in Von Lane. Sorry about that. Shout out to Prize Picks and Von Lane for sponsoring this edition of All Texas Football. Very thankful for them and have them as partners. We'll tell you more about their message coming up later on.
Quiz was 08.
So I'm trying to. Oh wait, what's that? Who them running backs in 08 for Texas? Actually, that wasn't bad. That was like Jay Hills and like who's the running backs back then? Fozzie was Fozzie around that time.
Trey Newton.
Trey Newton.
They were around that same time. Yeah. Justin Yarbrough says 08, same class. Yep. I mean,
so that's honestly, I don't know if Texas necessarily had some. I don't know. They didn't have like game changers necessarily. I mean, they were good players, but
yeah, that was a two running back class. That was Fozzie and Vondrell McGee. Fozzie was 07 though. Fozzie was 07.
But he okay, it was 07. Yeah. All right, I knew he was around it. Okay, honestly, maybe he had a case. I got to go back and look at your quote. I know he was.
It was Cody Johnson. Thank you, Chris. So Cody Johnson. You know what's crazy though, Rod? It's also how similar they are in size and how they played the game. Their running style. It's crazy that they're, look, maybe you say, oh, it's not crazy. They're from the same family tree. But, I was looking at NFL.com earlier, the best players 5'8" or under in the NFL, and Quiz was on that list. They listed 11 guys.
Yeah.
Quiz was on that list.
Oh, that's interesting. Who'd they get on that list?
Jones-Drew was on that. There was a number of guys, but that was just all players. So
not just running back.
Antoine Whitfield, Bob Sanders. So some of those guys, but Quiz was on that top 11 list, and obviously number one was Barry Sanders.
Man, yeah, no doubt about that.
He's the best 5'8" player in the history of football. So
no question. Yeah, college or pro, by the way.
Yeah, Darren Sproles was on that list.
Yeah,
Drew was on that list.
I played against some of them guys like that. Listen, I played against these types of players. 5'8". Oklahoma had one of these guys. What was his name? Quentin Williams. What's his name? Quentin Griffin.
Quentin Griffin was 5'5". He was probably shorter than all of them.
On a good day. Played against guys like Darren Sproles. And the one thing about these guys, especially on offense at the running back position, and LWC's got this advantage too. You really don't see it and I don't know, maybe I don't look at the O-line, like height of his O-line there at Richmond Randall. But when Quentin Griffin was running behind the Oklahoma O-line, or Sproles was running behind that Kansas State O-line, you couldn't see him.
Right.
I'm not joking. It is a wild thing. You couldn't see them. They were so small. And by the time you actually got a chance to see them, they're so quick, the acceleration and their pad level, you're out of position, you're out leveraged, you got no chance against those kind of players. And so it is a huge advantage. It's one of the things you think it's like, oh no, that's got to work against them in 5'8". It does at times situationally. But there are some situations where, man, it can make those guys hell on wheels, and that is essentially Landen Williams-Callis, because I would say what I love about him.
I was going to say, what do you love about him? Because we haven't talked to you about him.
Yeah, because at 5'8", 196, he's just hard to bring down.
Yes.
Low pad level, great contact balance. So that low center of gravity, it really keeps him well balanced. He's got really good vision and patience that allows him to kind of, let his blocks align before he decides to accelerate whenever it is. And like I said, he's got juice. He is the epitome of what when offensive coordinators and play calls say, man, this guy has juice. That guy has juice. Certain guys move the chains. There's certain guys that change the game, and he's a game changer. Guys who are that productive too at the high school level. I mean, that kind of productivity, you can't fake it.
Yeah.
You can't fake that kind of, what is he? You're talking about 7,500 some rushing yards over 3 years.
10 yards a pop, so about 754 carries. But Rob, the other thing about guys that height, the one thing I'll say about them too, is when they hit the high to low button near contact, they are have such a low center of gravity. They very rarely get hit in their lower legs.
True.
Everybody's glancing off their hips and their shoulders.
Yep.
And so that brings us to a Cisco Diaz question. Do we have to worry about Landen Williams-Callis being overused like James Gray? I think it's totally different. Like, so James Gray had
Jonathan Gray? He was
Jonathan Gray. Sorry. Just thank you. I called him his dad's name. Jonathan Gray. He had surgery on both shoulders coming out of high school. So that's a little different. He was a taller guy. Landen has been very, very durable. He hadn't missed a high school football game. I feel like, Cisco, I appreciate the question. I feel like everybody's like, oh, has he been used too much is the question.
That's good.
And Texas fans have Jonathan Gray to reference, but Cedric Benson carried the ball a lot. I mean, you can go through the list of guys Maurice Jones-Drew in high school. A lot of these guys carry the ball a lot. Some people they just are not lucky from an injury standpoint. And Jonathan Gray was one of those guys, whether it was the Achilles in high school. I've never seen a running back come out of high school that had surgery on both shoulders. So he had something going on. He was with those shoulders, number one, bad injury luck, number two, as a player, and there's nothing you can do about it. But Landen's been very durable, and that's why I think there's a little difference. Those 5'6" Sproles, 7'8" running backs, they don't take a lot of big hits.
That's a good point.
They do not take a lot of big hits. Somebody asked in the chat about Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith was officially listed at 5'9". That was so he's over the 5'8" in terms of what people thought about that. I'm not sure if he actually measured 5'9" without shoes, but he's listed at 5'9", so he was not on that list.
I would say there are a lot of numbers in the analytical era that lead folks to believe that basically running backs can get used up, that you can just use the tread on the tires. And I do think there is some substance to that argument, but I know there are exceptions because we've seen it in the NFL. Yeah. And so, those analytics are real about running backs being kind of overused and honestly having been worn out, and by the time they actually get to the highest levels of football. But I think LWC can be one of those exceptions. Michael here says, in the past, running back recruits wanted all the carries. Are you finding recruits, and thank you for the super chat, by the way, Michael, are you finding recruits wanting to find that tandem backfield to limit wear and tear? Boom, that's what we're talking about. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yes. I think backs are being recruited that way. I think the goal, and Landen said, his goal is to get into the NFL. His uncle, Rodney Williams, goals to get to the NFL. Jaquiz, goals to get to the NFL. I mean, I think it's just we're in different times now. I also think this, Rod, is when guys came out of high school in the 90s and you're a running back, the players weren't as big, strong, and fast that you were going against.
Sure.
Think about how much bigger, stronger, and faster athletes have gotten in the since 2000. Just where nutrition's gone, where weight training, strength and conditioning has gone, where individual training has gone at a young age in high school for these guys. They're working out in different ways. They're maximizing their frames in different ways. And honestly, guys have just gotten bigger. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Guys have gotten bigger. I mean, Jonathan Scott came out of Dallas Carter at 6'7", 260 in high school, 255, 260. Nowadays, if a guy comes out at 6'7", 260, the question is, can he get big enough? I mean, just think about how far we've come since Jonathan Scott came out of high school. Derek Johnson was 195 pounds coming out of high school.
That's right. That's
crazy.
I mean,
guys are just bigger, stronger, and faster now, and they're bigger, stronger, and faster on every level. So the hits are different than they were 30 years ago.
Totally agree with that. And yep, A17 missed to talk too much. I agree. You got to have multiple backs in the SEC. And I think that's part of the pitch as well from Sark is like, hey, we want you fresh for the league. You're going to the league. I think he's like, I'm helping you living your dream. We're going to showcase your potential and productivity. And then you'll still have enough, legs left to have your second to get your second NFL contract, which is what all the running backs want. So I think Sark probably preaches touches.
Yes,
over just rushes too.
100%.
Which, the belief is that if you're obviously handing the ball off and you're running into the line of scrimmage, that's more wear and tear and brutality than a guy catching out in the flat or being used in the passing game. So I bet Sark teaches touches too. That's something we'll talk about with Landen and Williams-Callis as well, because there ain't much to critique about the young man's game if you're talking about him being the overall running back prospect. The passing game, he doesn't just have a lot of experience. I mean, he's got some decent numbers in the passing game, but that's something at the next level that he's going to showcase that he can be a weapon. And Sark really likes his running backs used in the passing game. All right, Justin Yarbrough, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. Says, how do y'all see Sark utilizing LWC? Not a lot of catching the ball out of the backfield, but plays 7-on-7. I could see a blue-like role. Thoughts? And Jaquez was a superstar as a sophomore, shredded TC. Yeah, he was. Sark has said this on the record, and I do believe it. It actually does track if you look at the stats and you look at his philosophy and his play calling. He believes running backs are the most underutilized weapon in the passing game, and he treats his running backs like that. In 2024, both Blue and Weissner were top 10 in running back targets in the country. So when his offense is clicking, he likes to get running backs a lot of touches in the passing game.
Yep. Really Brown this year. That's my prediction. Out of the backfield. The second part of that, Justin Yarbrough, and I joked with Jaquez about this yesterday. What he did to Friendswood in the playoff game, I've never seen so many Mustangs on the ground. Rod, the guy was literally throwing 2 and 3 jump and skip cuts behind the line of scrimmage, and guys were just grabbing turf.
Video game
takes off out the backside. It's like Mustangs on the ground everywhere, man. Save the Mustangs. Save the
just diving over. It looks like a movie. It's like
I've never seen so many defensive players grab air and grab grass than when I watched Jaquez Rogers against them in a playoff game. It was pretty crazy. Jaquez could throw 3 jump cuts in a phone booth, and it was literally boop, 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 and he did it so quick. And gave you a little shoulder shimmy when he did it. The guys in high school were just hitting the deck, man. They were just hitting the grass, grabbing grass. And then he shoots out the backside and goes 50. And you're just like if you blinked, you missed the whole run.
Yeah. No, and it's the guys like that you had to go see it. And I bet now they have better technology, better catch it. The flexibility of their ankles and knees. Yes. Highly underrated quality for running backs. It's just a weird, freaky thing where they can. I hit a cut like that, and Rod B's ankle gone.
Rod, have you seen the pictures of Barry? Have you seen the pictures of Barry Sanders?
Yes.
His foot and ankle.
Yes.
The angles when he's cutting hard. All of us would tear our Achilles.
That's exactly right. I don't even know how you measure that.
Ligaments. All of it.
That some guys are different that way. I mean, there's a great picture of Peter Warwick actually.
He's amazing when he gets.
Have you seen that one?
Shimmy and stick his foot in the ground,
and his ankle is almost turned, like it looks like it's broken, and he's just making a cut. Yep. Some guys are built different that way, and that is one underrated quality. I know there's got to be a way these days to test that ankle flexibility, knee flexibility, but hitting it full speed, who knows? How everybody's body's going to hold up. But that is, I'm telling you, because Bijan, this is what I saw it on Twitter today. Y'all remember the Texas Tech game where he jumps in the air?
Yep.
And then he lands, and
I hit him square in the back. Yeah.
It guys, we know most human beings, you're done. You're done.
Neck.
Broken neck, something, never play
Back,
football again.
back,
Be lucky
yeah.
to walk again. This dude jogged off the field. Tom Herman admitted later, I kept him out, held him out, not because he passed all the protocols. I just didn't feel like he should be playing. So it's one of those things. Like I think that's an underrated quality, and I think LWC's got some of that.
And by the way, you know what else Landen Williams-Callis has? We'll talk about all this with Coach Randall. He's got tiny feet, man. Like he is, his feet fit his body.
Yeah.
He's not like 5'8" with wearing a size 12 or something, where you kind of say those guys they don't make those cuts and they aren't athletic.
Nope. Great point. Yeah. You don't see ballerinas with big feet.
No,
okay?
That's exactly right.
Your best dancers don't have big feet. They don't.
Yeah. His feet fit his body, which is a great thing, a great place to be.
Yeah, I like that. And that's great point, Dallas. Mascus says ankle flexion with edges is huge. Yeah, you see that with the bend. They always talk about the bend of you want to see it, how basically how low pad level and how much flexibility, flexibility.
You could see that in basketball. You could see the same thing in basketball, TJ Ford and Allen Iverson.
Oh, that's a good one.
They both cut and change directions at angles where a lot of people lose their ACL. Because people lose their ACL when you plant your left foot one hard and then you're changing direction going right.
How the weight's going in. Yeah. Exactly.
That's when you see a lot of ACL injuries. Yeah. And those guys, I mean, they never had them.
It's crazy. I see somebody said Black Jesus. Yeah, I heard that he's got a nickname.
That's his nickname in the Houston area. That is his nickname.
I will say, I was going to say that because CB is my witness too here in the chat. I was calling Vince White Black Jesus a long time ago as well. Yep. So I guess it's passed down.
I think it is some of the same people, by the way, Rod in Houston.
It might be.
Yeah, it's some of the same people that I saw. I saw a couple of the same local media guys at this press conference or the commitment yesterday that were around for the VY years.
He does have that Lord legend in H-Town because I've talked to some folks in H-Town too. He's got some of that. Like you talked about the TJ Ford thing, the VY thing.
That's who I compare him to, Rod. It's nothing's like Vince where it was 50,000 people in the Astrodome. I think Landen is right there on the same level as TJ Ford. TJ was from Missouri City down there.
Yeah.
Sugar Land, Missouri City line. Landen is right down there in Richmond, Rosenberg line. I see a lot of similarities in the way their popularity. I see those guys very similar, having covered both of them.
All right, like that one. Okay, we'll get back to because I'm gonna. Oh yes. How about this from Juan? Thank you, Juan, for the super chat. Appreciate it. It says, can you all do interviews with the remaining recruits you all haven't interviewed in the 2027 class?
We're going to work on that this season for sure. It's a great question.
Thank you, Juan.
We're kind of trying to save some of those for the season as well. So our plan is to have guys like a Lucas Roa, some of those guys who we haven't had on before, have them on this season.
Thank you for that, Juan. We appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. How about this one? I think this is from Mike. I don't know if we got to this one, the super chat from Mike. Mike, question for Jerry. Do you foresee any of the 2022 class who have now been ruled eligible for another year returning to Texas? Yes, for those who don't know, yes, they have the ruling where the 2022 class is eligible. The strange thing about this, though, Jerry, unless
it's going to be changing, I think, Rod.
Yes, because it will be appealed. There's no doubt about that. But it was at least they put in, or at least the language says that you can't transfer with this thing.
That's right.
I'm throwing it out there. That's basically if your school that you are currently a member of, even if that 22 class that you were last a member of, I should say, that's the way it's written. That's the only school that you could be eligible for.
And by the way, I love that.
Okay.
That's the way this should be. Look, we should not, and I don't know what's going to happen because everything's going to be a lawsuit. My question on this is, look, we're running out of time for the football guys and the semester, by the way. You're running out of time here. We're already on August 2nd. By the way, hey, 3 days away from practice. But we're already on the 2nd.
Yeah.
When do classes start? 14th? This stuff, I mean, this stuff can keep going and going and fighting for eligibility. But if this sticks in this regard, if it ends up being, and look, there's going to be so many different injunctions filed in different places. I don't know what's going to happen. I do think it's going to keep colleges, make them hesitate somewhat on all this. But the best thing that could come out of this, in my opinion, is if something happens where some of these guys get a year of eligibility, it can only be going back to the school they were at. That, to me, I think is paramount in all this, because what I just don't think should happen right now is guy who gets extra year who played at Texas can go transfer to Oklahoma if he's eligible to do that, or Oklahoma to Texas, or anywhere else, really. It's not even about rivals, anywhere else, really.
Yeah.
I mean, so I love that was kind of been changed. And by the way, I think the other big thing is if your name wasn't already in the portal, you can't just throw your name in the portal and go wherever you want. And that absolutely should happen. This should not be a situation where you can just throw your name in the portal a week before classes start and go wherever you want.
Yeah.
I'm 100% in agreement with both those things. And I hope that it holds up with all these injunctions and challenges and stuff. I know people will disagree with it, but I think that's the way this should be. I mean, look, you have to have some reward for the work you did, and to build your roster. You know what? And if somebody swung and missed on 6 guys, now they just go get 6 guys. It shouldn't be that way 2 weeks before the semester starts. That's BS.
Yeah.
I mean, you're put in your work, and all those schools. Here's the thing with all those schools. It's not like they planned for this. LSU basketball. Oh, Will Wade had this plan. BS. No, he didn't. The guy struck out more than Rob Deere in the 80s, okay? Texas Tech basketball, oh, this was our plan. We're going to get these guys. BS, that was your plan. Yeah. You got your butt kicked in the portal. Deal with it. I mean, so that's why I don't like what would happen. That's like, Rod, that's like having free agency a week before football season starts.
Pretty much.
Make any of that make sense.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that is where we go with this.
And as far as Texas, I mean, considering the framework of the decision, obviously has yet to be appealed, will be appealed. We know that could change. There are only a couple of options for Texas in that regard. Cole Hudson is already in his process trying to get another eligibility. And I believe my man CJ, shout out to him over at ontexasfootball.com. You can go check it out. Actually did inquire about Ethan Burke. And Ethan Burke is focused right now on making that roster for the Ravens. But that's, I think, the only 2 players that would be affected for Texas from that 2022 class, considering where the decision is now and how it was phrased. Okay. Thank you for that question, Mike. We appreciate it. Let's thank our sponsors really quickly, and then we'll dive back into some LWC conversation. And then also awaiting our special guest, his head coach down there at Richmond Randall. But let's thank our friends over at Prize Picks. We appreciate them, and you will as well. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks apps. And honestly, it's about as simple as it gets. Really easy for players picks. All you do is choose more or less on a few player stats, lock your lineup, and it's easy. But if you're someone who likes picking teams instead of players, now Prize Picks has you covered there as well. You also can pick the winner. You can pick total on games, even fights. Prize Picks available in most states, including the great state of Texas, California, and Florida. And so chances are you can jump in today. And one of my favorite features now is that you can follow different users if you want to. If you like their picks and picks they're making, you can tell them with one click, and you can follow your friends' picks as well. You can troll them if you want to have a good time. And now here's the best part. If you've never tried Prize Picks before, play your first $5 lineup. And if you win, you'll get $150 in bonus lineups. All right. So just make sure you use the code HMA. They actually just started this offer, so it's a great time for you to take advantage. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code HMA. Play that first $5 lineup. And if you win, you'll get $150 in bonus lineups. That's Prize Picks, code HMA. Good luck. And as always, play smart, play responsibly, play Prize Picks. All right. Let's also thank our friends over at Von Lane while we got a second here. Jared, would you do us a favor and thank our friends over at Von Lane?
I can do that. What? Crossing the Red River in style. Von Lane is crossing the Red River starting September 8th. Von Lane is relaunching its Dallas to Oklahoma City route. That's going to be great for Softball World Series, by the way. Texas fans in Dallas with multiple daily departures, 7 days a week. Riders have been asking for this one to come back, and it's finally here. Whether you've got business in OKC, family up there, just want to catch a game without the 3-hour drive, you can book right now at vonlane.com. And here's what makes Von Lane different from hopping on a flight. No bag fees, no paying $80 just to pick a seat, no TSA lines. You walk to a hotel terminal, board a coach with just 22 first-class leather seats, enjoy Starlink, Wi-Fi, complimentary snacks, drinks, and hot towel service. The fare is a flat $129 one way with no hidden charges. Try getting that kind of transparency from an airline. Von Lane serves Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Plano, the Woodlands, Oklahoma City, Nashville, Memphis, and Atlanta. Head to vonlane.com and use promo code OTF26 for $20 off your first trip. What is Von Lane? It's a private jet on wheels.
All right. Thank you very much, Jared. Appreciate it. And thank you to our friends at Prize Picks and Von Lane. All right. I think we do have another super chat here. I believe it's from Brandon. Hey, our man B. Morgan. What's up, man? He says, Ryder back sitting and hanging back to you. Come back till Sunday nights. He said, Sundays are bad to the bone with you and Jerry. Love to do it. Oh, thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Brandon. OTF fam number one. Good to have you back. Hope everything's going well. Everybody's still really excited about the LWC commitment from yesterday. And we're going to talk to his head coach, actually, from Richmond Randall, coming up here at 7:45. Better high school film, LWC or Jermaine Bishop? Oh,
man, I hate to say this on the LWC celebration day. But Jermaine Bishop did what he did on offense and defense and special teams was ridiculous.
All three phases.
That was just ridiculous. I mean, because, and I say this all the time about Jermaine, and this was even his sophomore year. I went up there with my buddy Keith Niebuhr, who's Gators Online, and we went up there. I wanted to see Bishop and some guys that were playing, and obviously DJ Lagway was committed to Florida. So this was when Bishop was a young player. He was still the most physical player on the field. And he was 150 pounds. I mean, it was just so rare what he did in high school because he did it at 150, 155 pounds. And you could say, wow, that guy hits. It may not be the knockback tackle like a 220 pounder, but he brought his hat, or as Muschamp says, put your face in the fan, with the mentality of a 220-pound player. It was crazy to see that because you just don't see that very often. I think down the line in the playoffs, what Landen and Coach Randall, I'm sure would love to comment on this, what Landen Williams-Callis did in that state championship year in the playoffs was ridiculous. So playoffs, you might have to go with Williams-Callis as you get deeper in the playoffs. I think just a high school highlight film, if you just went out on a Friday night to a game and you watch Jermaine Bishop go 8 for 150 in the air, make 10 tackles with an interception, return a punt 40 or 50 yards, you're just like, what the hell did I just watch? This guy's 155 pounds.
Yeah, I agree with Jerry on that one. Just because, I mean, you're affecting the game in all three phases.
I mean, it's Rob, to that point, he did more on a football field. And remember, Jonah Williams played some offense, played a lot more defense, was on special teams, kick returns, all that. Jermaine Bishop was more productive than Jonah Williams in the same ways, weighing 75 pounds less. Yeah. Put it in perspective.
Yeah.
Because Jonah had to carry Galveston ball in similar ways against the best teams. 75 pounds difference, 65 pounds difference high school.
That's a great point. No, it is. I agree with you. It's a great case, but it's rare, man, to be able to affect the game and be elite in all three phases. Not just play. I played all three phases. Played some offense, scored some touchdowns, but I wasn't an elite offensive player. I was an elite defensive player, and I played special teams. But I don't know if I was an elite special teams player. I was pretty damn good. That young man was elite in all three phases. That's pretty rare.
I actually one time went back and looked for Nathan Vasher high school film. I couldn't find it.
That dude.
I would have liked to seen how that compared.
Yes. I believe that
It
Nathan
wouldn't have
Basham
been
was.
as productive, but I bet we'd have seen a lot of the same characteristics because those Texas high teams are so good. He didn't have to do as much.
Yeah. No, that dude was he was really skilled. Nathan Basham was one of the most skilled DBs. I mean, like his hand-eye coordination. He was just a great skill player. He definitely could have played offense if that was what he focused on when he got to Texas. But I think they made the right decision. Guy was an all-pro in the NFL. All right. Thank you for that super chat. Thank you for the question as well. Daniel's up next with this super chat. Thank you, Daniel. I think that's the one I saw. It says, what can Brad Spence do this season with Muschamp? Brad Spence is still in the conversation.
Yes.
Your second best pass rusher overall. Like you can make a case for it right now behind Colin Simmons, who's your second best pass rusher. You can legitimately make a case for Brad Spence. You got higher pressure rates than Lance Jackson, Zena, and some of the other edge rushers, Vosick. He got a higher pressure rate than those guys, obviously behind Colin Simmons. And these guys' versatility. Yeah, you got the fact that he can play off-ball linebacker for you. Also, guys, you can pull on the edge in certain packages. I'm a big fan. I feel like Muschamp's gonna find a way to weaponize Brad Spence. I just don't know in what way he's gonna do it.
Rod, I got a prediction on him, but obviously it comes down to health. Somebody's got to be healthy all season. He had 21 tackles and 3 sacks last year. I think he's going to double those numbers this year.
I like that.
And I could see him getting to 7 to 8 sacks on this team. I mean, look, I think he could go back to the Arkansas year numbers in 24. He had 55 tackles, 4.5 sacks. I could see a season where he's 50-ish tackles, but that sack number is going to be higher. Because I really think I don't the way they're going to use Biles is maybe a little different than that. I could see Brad Spence being having the second most sacks on this team.
Yeah. He was over 15% pressure rate. His havoc rate, to your point, Jerry, over 2% havoc rate, by the way, which is really high. He's at 2.2%. So I'm with you. I think I wouldn't doubt at all if you end up doubling some of those havoc numbers, the tackles for loss and the sacks, just because situationally, I'd want him in there on my pass rushing downs. I got to get him in there, whether I'm getting him in as an off-ball linebacker to rush from the second level, or I'm getting there as a straight-up edge guy that I'm putting the NASCAR or the F1 package out there with 3 or 4 edges on the field at one time in the third and long. Brad Spence is a guy you get. I feel like he didn't play enough last season. But maybe you feel like you needed a Brad Spence. But this season, I just think he's way too multifaceted not to find a way on the field.
Yeah.
So
this was a very good. No offense to PK, this was a very good coaching move for Brad Spence because of his skill set.
Yes, because Muschamp's an aggressor, right? Muschamp's going to force the issue, and that's Brad Spence's game rather than the kind of adapt. And that's kind of what
attack versus read and react.
Yes, yeah, there you go. Great way to put it. All right, I think go back to that. Let me see that one more time. That was a good little comment. I think Muschamp's aggressiveness is better for him. Exactly, Jerry. No, totally agree with that 100%. And there's a lot of guys going to benefit from that, by the way. Yeah. He's not the only guy that's going to benefit from that style. Okay, before we bring on our special guests, I know they're coming up here soon. I got one thing I wanted to bring up because from Big Ten Media Days a couple of days ago, they actually asked Jeremiah Smith.
And Mello's in. Our Ohio State guy Mello's in the chat.
This is perfect then. Glad to have him in there. They asked Jeremiah Smith what game he's most looking forward to on the schedule. I want to say they literally they gave him a physical schedule. And
you got Indiana, you got Oregon, you got Michigan.
He circled Texas. He literally circled Texas.
I love it.
And I love it too. Because by the way, Jeremiah Smith is a dog. Nobody will deny that. But it is so fascinating that his worst games of his illustrious career, and he is the real deal. This ain't no disrespect happening on this channel. Jeremiah Smith. His worst games and hands down have been against Texas.
That's why
it's not even close. I'll give you these numbers really quickly because they're mind blowing. So in 2024, his 33% receiving rate against Texas in that game was the lowest in his career. His 3 yards receiving, lowest in yardage total in his career. He had a 55 Pro Football Focus grade. That game, that was his lowest in his career. He had a 55 Pro Football Focus receiving grade. That was also lowest of his career. His yards per route run, which was 0.08, was the lowest of his career. And he had a 70 passer rating when targeted, which was the second lowest of his career, behind the 2025 game where there was apparently a 2.8 passer rating when targeted, according to PFF. It's fascinating. He had a 58 Pro Football Focus offensive grade in 2025. That's the second lowest of his career. 60 Pro Football Focus receiving grade was also the second lowest of his career in 2025. I mean, no matter which way you're looking at it, 2.1 yards per, I think his yards per route run was the fourth lowest of his career in 2025. I see why he circled the game.
100%. He should. He's a competitor.
He's been for his standard, he's been embarrassed in the Texas games.
Oh, he had a couple of breadbasket drops last year too on very simple routes, right? Remember that again, the game? Ohio State Texas game.
He's had three
drops.
He's had 3 drops in his career, according to PFF, Jerry, and 2 against Texas. 2 of them against Texas.
Yep.
It's circled. So
I mean I love that from a competitive. Look, I want Ohio State to play their best game, and I want Texas to play their best game. See who comes out. I mean, I think that's what's going to be great about the game is I hope both teams play really well, and both fan bases said, okay, that team was better that day, whoever it is.
Yeah, it'll be if you're Texas, I mean, of course they're trying to give them the football, but how Arthur Smith is going to do it is going to be fascinating, and how much of the 2025-2024 game plans of PK does Muschamp decide, well, hell, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
But you have to do so because they're going to have, I think, a dramatically different game plan considering how Texas has had so much success neutralizing one of the greatest all-time receivers in the history of college football.
Yeah.
In the 2 times they played. It's fascinating.
Brandon Morgan's got a super chat that's going to be fun.
All right, let's get to the super chat then. All right, let's get to Brandon Morgan's first. Let's get B Morgan. What's up, man? Jerry, can you give me Rod Texas stats, or would you have to look into it if he was not here since you knew of him from high school early on? Oh, I don't know if we get. Yeah, it's a pre-internet, guys.
Yeah,
I'm a pre-internet prospect.
So people that haven't heard, so some guys used to get together for workouts.
Yeah,
at North Shore High School. Sometimes it was at Old Dobie High School if North Shore guys weren't around. And I knew a Rod, and it's pretty much just throw guys playing. It's one-on-ones. It was just one-on-ones for an hour, hour and a half.
Pretty much.
And a lot of times I'd be throwing the rock to guys. And I just remember how quick my initial thought was how quickly Rod came out of a cut and reacted to a receiver coming out of a break. And I was like, oof, like that was a little different in how quickly, if a guy ran an out and say Rod took the wrong step and had to recover, he took one more step back and his pedal then had to recover how quickly he covered the ground and closed the ground. But that was the first thing with Rod that impressed me, because when you're out there throwing the ball to all these guys and Cedric Cormier, whoever it was at the time of running routes, everybody's a hellacious now power 4 player. Who was the kid, the receiver from Madison that went to LSU, Rod?
Jarrell Myers.
And when Rod was quicker than those guys coming in and out of cuts, that is one thing that would stick out if you were the guy throwing the football. I'll say that.
Yeah.
That stood out to me about Rod.
Yeah. No, I remember that's when, because now everything's so different, but you had to go try to find work. And those were all really good players who wanted to be really good. And we all knew North Shore had probably, 8 D1 guys there on that team that we played, the Cedric Cormier. I think they had was it LeVar Johnson, the running back?
LeVar went to LSU, the running
LSU. Back. I mean,
Joe Walker was it going
Joe
to
Walker. They were always loaded. So that's where the players were. So we went.
Alex Evans went to Arizona as a corner. They were loaded back then.
Yeah. And me and Jerome Sapp, maybe a couple other guys.
The one guy could never get to go out there was Adam Dunn. Remember? I was like,
he's too big time.
He was playing too much baseball.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's too big time, man. He was too big time. He had real money on the line. That's
yes.
But no, I remember those days, man. We had to go find work. We had our cleats in the trunk. And so we could always go to literally pickup games of football. And sometimes we end up going to pickup games, and that's how you know Jerry was hard working. Even back then, he was getting the scoops even before you could put them online. Right.
That's the best conversation. Timothy, we're going to get to that question later. We got our special guest.
Let's do it.
Coach Brian Randall, head coach of Randall High, state champion, been to 2 state championship games. Obviously, head coach has watched the Landen Williams-Callis grow up as a football player. Coach Randall, thanks for joining us. Good to see you yesterday, by the way.
Yes, sir. It's good to see you as well.
You're here with Rod Babers. Obviously, you know Rod played at Texas in the NFL. Houston Lamar. We were just talking about some of those days. But Coach, I just wanted to ask you, the first question is I kind of want to start when the first time you saw Landen. First time you saw Landen run with the football, what were your thoughts?
First time I saw him or the first time I saw him run with the football?
First time you saw him run with the football.
Nothing short of amazing.
Wow.
It's funny because the kid's doing the same thing that he was doing when he was a little kid. He's just bigger now. He's just bigger, stronger, and faster. It takes him less time to get to the end zone. But he looks like when he was playing for the Oilers and then when he was playing at the junior high, doing the exact same things, just faster now.
How long has LWC been playing ball, Coach?
Oh gosh, that kid. I guess since he could walk, maybe. I want to say since he could walk. He is a very special young man, extremely special.
How often do you and the staff watch tape the day after a game? And at the time, you said, "How the hell did he do that?" And then you watch the tape and you say, "How the hell did he do that?"
We do it during the game. He'll do it during the game. But it's funny because you always have a chance. Like you're never out of a game. It's a picture that kind of made a meme of me. It was like, I guess 2 minutes and 33 seconds left in the state game this year. And I look up at the clock, and that's when that's the only time I felt like, man, we might really be done, because you always have a home run in Landen. You always have a home run in Landen. You just got to give him the ball in space. It's really just give him the ball, and he'll create the space he needs.
No, Coach, he's obviously an electric player. There's no doubt about that. Do you have a player comp for him that in mind that you like? Oh no, he's very much like this player, similar to this player, because he is so unique and so spectacular. But do you guys have a common player comp for LWC?
Well, not really. Like when he first got there, we were thinking kind of like a Devin Hester type, like Devin a little bit, and then like, well, no, that's not it, because this kid, he's a true running back. Because we didn't know exactly where to play him. We had some pretty good running backs. And the kid gets there, he's like, well, Coach, I'm a running back. I'm not a slot receiver. Now, mind you, he's 14 years old. And I've seen him throw a dime 60 yards. So they played him at quarterback at the middle school. He played linebacker at the middle school. Like the kid can truly do it. He can do it all. And we allow him to do it all. We got a package on defense where we have him playing deep safety because he can go from sideline to sideline faster than anybody on the field.
Coach, one of the things I'd said leading up to his announcement was it's because of him, obviously, but Jaquiz, Michael Lewis, how much of a hometown hero you're coaching in that Richmond-Rosenberg area. And I said it, a lot of people said Vince Young, but I was like, hold on, Vince played in front of 50,000. I said TJ Ford when he was at Willow Ridge in basketball. I said both down in that Missouri City area, they had this following that was different than most people you see. How cool has it been to be a part of that? Obviously, y'all's success on the field, and y'all still have another year coming up, and we're going to get to who y'all are playing in the opener coming up. But how cool has it been to be around that and kind of watch all that? Because that's pretty special. Not a lot of coaches get to coach and go through that level of kind of fandom of a high school player.
No, it's extremely, extremely special to watch, and to watch it grow was probably the neatest thing because we got to watch it grow. It wasn't. Now he was already kind of, I guess the word is mythical. I'm thinking when he was in Little League when he played for the Oilers, because I was the head coach at May Creek. And I get a phone call when the whole thing with Randall happened, when the school got ready to be opened up and everything. And some of my buddies from Galveston were calling me. It's like, hey, man, if you get that job at Randall, you're going to get a chance to coach a kid that walks on water. You know, now mind you, this is Little League, right? These are Little League kids, and I'm not a big. I mean, I'm a fan of Little League, but kids, they fizz out. You know, I mean, sometimes they don't ever grow again, all that kind of stuff. So you think about it, you're like, well, I don't know. And fast forward 6 months, we get the job. And for whatever reason, we're sitting in the office, and I tell my guys, I say, hey, guys, let's go to Navarro Middle School, and let's check this Landen kid out, because everybody keeps telling me about him, and I don't want to lose him, because these kids here, you know, pick up and move, and you look up, it'd be a Katy Tiger. You know, you look up and be something different. So now, mind you, he's like in the 5th or 6th grade. So we get on the campus, and I guess that's probably the closest it's been to what, like, I guess a college coach would be, like getting to go recruit kids and all that kind of stuff. So we get in there, and we see him come around the corner, and all you see is a smile and calves. You see these big old calves and this big giant smile, man. And, you know, you build a relationship, and we kept him on the silver track, because everybody and their mom was trying to recruit that kid away, because in LCISD we're not open enrollment. We're on the silver track. So you like, it's truly you play where you're zoned. You know, and his dad was zoned to Randall High School. Yeah.
Hey, we have a super chat, Rod. Let's bring this. This is an interesting question from Daniel. How do you continue to develop a talent like LWC? What's next for his development when he pretty much walks on water?
Yeah.
Well, as coaches, you don't want to mess it up, you know, and a lot of times you can overcoach things. Believe it or not, you can overcoach things. And when you put too much on a kid's plate and you make them think, then what do you think that's going to do? It's going to slow them down. It's going to slow them down. So a kid like that, you've got to understand that he picks things up quick. He picks things up quick, and you walk it one time with him, then you run through it, and then he's got it, you know. And then if he doesn't have it, he'll make something happen. He'll make something happen.
He'll make you look good, huh, Coach?
Yeah, no, definitely. We got a chance to be good coaches for one more good year. You know?
Hey, Coach, let me ask you this: Is he better in zone concepts, power concepts? You guys run a healthy mix there. That he obviously is going to be well trained, and obviously I think well conditioned in both the zone and the gap schemes.
Absolutely. Like, we actually ran him between tackles a lot this year. The year before, we got him outside on some different sweeps and things like that. So he's one of those kids that he can pretty much do it. He can do it all. And it's funny, because I think about it all the time. If he was at another campus, possibly he probably already breaks that record, because his freshman year, he was amazing, but we limited his carries, limited his touches. His sophomore year, amazing, but we limited his carries and touches. You know, this year we didn't. So his freshman year, he got 10 to 15, sophomore year, 15 to 20, junior year, 20 to 25, you know, and that was by design, because when you see a talent like Landen, some coaches can get greedy. You know, we got to win this thing every year. We got to do this. Well, you run the kid in the ground. He's still, yes, he's 14, and yes, he's amazing, but he's still a 14-year-old kid in a 14-year-old body. You know, so you want to take care of kids like that, and to where they can have some tread on that tire, so he can get that gold jacket in 10 to 15, 20 years from now.
What is his decision? Not to get into like his decision, but the decision to go to Texas. What kind of did that surprise you? One, and kind of what is it about Texas that you think drew him there?
Well, it's funny, because I'm gonna be honest. Texas A&M out recruited you guys. Like, that's the reality of the situation. They did throughout the entire process, right? From his being a sophomore year, when it really picked up. Now, he had offers when he was a freshman, but throughout the entire process, they really did a better job recruiting the kid. It was a Texas high school football coach named Chris Gilbert. I think Gilbert. Chris.
Gilbert.
Chris kind of came in there and saved the day. You know, like he did a heck of a job, man. When I tell you, Chris did a heck of a job building that relationship with Uncle Rodney, building a relationship with Landen. Now, mind you, don't. I'm not pooping on anybody else, because everybody they did a good job. They did a good job.
Texas went through the running back coaching changes 3 times during his recruitment. Yeah.
Right. But Jaluk did well.
Right.
Duke did well. Like they all did a good job, but it wasn't quite that same thing that A&M presented. But it wasn't until Chris got involved. Chris really moved that needle, man. He really, really did. But I mean, Texas high school football coaches, they do a great job building relationships. You know, we don't get to recruit. Like, we have to work with what we have, and you have to keep those kids there. And I think that kind of helped him because he built that relationship super fast, man. So kudos to that guy.
Wow. Hey, Coach, when did LWC get his first offer? Do you remember that?
Eighth grade? I think he's in eighth grade. Yeah, seventh or eighth grade. Yes, sir.
Wow, that's crazy.
Probably showed up at a college camp, and they're like, "What?" Yeah, exactly.
He ran a 10.5, guys.
Yeah,
he ran a 10.5 in the eighth grade. A 10.5. Come on.
You know what? One of the funny things I said, Coach, about him
crazy.
is his feet fit his frame. He doesn't have big feet. You know, like I was kind of joking about that. You know, you ever seen a 5'7", 5'8" guy that has a 12 shoe, and you're like, that doesn't look right.
Right.
Yeah, Rod. He's got those tiny feet. I don't know what size he wears, 10, 9.5, 10 maybe, but the feet fit his frame.
Yeah, probably helps with that balance, because that's why he's so good, because his balance, and he's so strong. People don't realize how hard it is to tackle that kid.
Yeah,
because even he's a track guy when we get him. Now, Landen was repping 315 in the 10th grade. You know, so and his uncle and his dad and everybody, we talked, and you don't want him to get too big, because if we allowed him just to lift weights, like if Landen lifted weights like everybody else, he would be what's the guy's name, played in the league with them giant legs? Sproles, is that his name maybe?
Aaron Sproles.
Aaron Sproles?
Yeah, because he wasn't a real tall guy, but just a big old yoked up dude. Like Landen can go sit in the weight room and gain 5 pounds of muscle and just look at the weights. Like, that's a God honest truth. Like, the kid's truly blessed. I tell people, when he come out those shoulder pads, that's a man. You know, that's a 200-pound man right there. You know, he can run in between tackles. He is a 4-down back. He's a complete back. Complete.
Hey, Coach, I kind of previewed you guys, you coming on, and thank you very much for the time.
Yes.
And I got to ask, I mean, it's really rare what you guys are going to do to start the season. You guys beat South Oak Cliff for the state championship, and congrats on that, because that's really quick for a school that opened to win a state championship. Y'all won a state championship, beat South Oak Cliff, dropped the state championship game to South Oak Cliff this year, and now you're playing in the beginning of the season at Prairie View A&M. I guess you don't have to do a lot of film review, right? You don't have to get the kids up for this game.
No, well, it's funny because Todd's a real good dude, man. Like, we've developed a good relationship over the years of just playing against each other and talking, and you got to break the tie. You know what I mean? Like, the competitor in you, like, hey, man, we got to break this tie. With us moving up, now, if we stayed 5A Division II, we wouldn't play, you know, because we would hopefully line up and meet in the state game again for a third time. But because we weren't going to do that, I was like, hey, we gotta at least break this tie. And especially when you lose like that, the emotions side, we're talking about it, we're shaking hands, we're going through the lines. Hey, man, we know we got to run this back. He's like, man, just call me, you know, because I mean, with Sock's a whole different animal. Like, that team that beat us, I think they're the best team in the state last year. Yeah. Hands down, the best team in Texas. And I don't know all that national crap, because it's different competition. You know, like, Texas high school football is different, man. It's different.
Hey, Coach, I want to ask you about that, because I'm from Houston. It's always been this competition between H-Town and DFW when it comes to high school football, especially when the big dogs like yourself and South Oak Cliff can meet up in the playoffs to determine state championships. But then there's some folks in DFW that believe, and they got some evidence behind it, that they starting to separate from H-Town a little bit overall, and big time high school football programs, developing high level talent and elite NFL talent. What are your thoughts about that? And if there is a separation starting to happen between DFW and H-Town, what's the reason for it?
Well, I think, honestly, I might get in trouble for saying this, but it's by design they're separating from us, because they have open enrollment, you know. So, like, you can go there when you're a freshman or whatever, and like, it's different than what we have. We don't have the freedom like they do, you know. But that's from their superintendent on down, you know. Like they have, the DFW has figured it out. You know, like, that's why you have those same schools. Now, I'm not taking away anything from their coaching, because I think they do a phenomenal job coaching, because you just don't you don't just roll the ball out and win state like North Shore. You say you played at North Shore, right, Coach?
No, I played against North Shore in the playoffs.
Okay.
I played at Houston Lamar though.
Okay, yeah, man. We had some tough games. I used to be the head coach at A-League Taylor.
Okay,
and
yeah.
A year they had Daryl Colbert. I want to say he played quarterback there. Were you there? You're around there? Or too long?
I'm old school. I graduated in '99, Coach. I'm old school.
Okay, I got you. I got you. Well, yeah, man. Lamar's something else. I'm joking there. That used to be a beast, man. That was different, but kind of similar to how they have it up in the DFW. Because I want to say Lamar's open enrollment.
Yeah, it's that magnet program. So yeah, you can go outside of your zone or whatever your zone school and recruit. I'm from South Park. I'm from like South Side. Exactly. I'm near Pearland, and I went all the way to Houston Lamar because I was a business magnet playing for Coach Nolan.
There you go.
Hey, Coach,
you smoked them cigarettes.
Oh yeah, hey, he did. Hey, Coach, nobody believed me. I'll say Coach used to be under the stand at halftime smoking a cig, man.
That dude's a legend. He's a legend, man. That's some legendary stuff to do. Just imagine us doing that nowadays. God bless.
Exactly. You got canceled.
Hey, Coach, we've had a couple of questions over the course of Landen's recruitment. One in the chat tonight: are you related to a Coach Randall at Crawford High School? Was one question, and two, you're related to Randall, right? With the school's named after. Can you take people through that? So the school's named after my dad. He was that's my dad behind me right there in that picture. When we won state, like one of the kids took a picture, and my baby brother, my dad's favorite, turned it into a painting. You know, and I think that was pretty cool, man. But so he was the superintendent in LCISD for 21 years. He sat there for in that chair, and that's very rare to be in that chair for 20 plus years. You know, they have high turnover rates. I want to say between 3 and 5 years, those guys turn over. To be there and watch this place grow to what it became is nothing short of amazing. Clayton is my younger brother, the one that he's the offensive line coach at Crawford. Okay. So yeah, that's like we look just alike. He's taller than I am. He's a big dude. Big dude. So Coach, I thank you very much for the time. We know you got stuff to do. We're going to let you go. So I wanted to ask you this. Everybody knows Landen as the player. Everybody's seen the 20-minute huddle highlight. Guys like Antoine that asked that question about your brother at Crawford. He goes to a lot of high school events. I've seen him at basketball, football. He's one of those guys that's out and about. Tell us about Landen as a kid, as a dude. Because I don't feel like people get to know the guys as much.
Well, it's different because he's a kid, and I used to have to remind my coach, like, hey guys, he's still a baby. You know, he's in the 9th grade, 10th grade because they put a lot on him, but he's got such an old soul. Like Landen has an old soul. I bet you right now Landen is at the house, probably on the couch with his dog, watching TV or just kind of hanging out with the fellas. Like he doesn't. I mean, mind you, it's Rosenberg, Texas, so I don't know what all you can get into out here in Richmond, Rosenberg. So it's not like going to Lamar where you have a zillion things you can go do in the city. Yeah, it's a little ways away, but he's just such a good kid. Like I've watched him intervene when kids were getting bullied. You know, like without not having to say anything. Like, hey man, y'all don't get to do that around me. You know, and this one he's in the 10th grade. You know, that's a sophomore.
Leadership.
Yeah. He's just a good guy, man. He's just a good guy. You can't really put your finger on it. Like he's just very, very rare. When you think about those guys, the greats, the LeBron James and all those guys that go on to be extremely successful, the one thing they've always had is poise, right? It's like they've been here before and they've done it before. I tell people all the time, this is Landen's second time around, man. This kid's been here before. He's been here before.
Old soul. Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time. It has been a pleasure and an honor as well. So we'll hope you will join us down the line sometime. But thank you so much and the best of luck to you.
Definitely, man. Thank you guys. Thanks
for having me on. See you next week, Coach. See you next week.
All right.
Let's Coach. Welcome. Oh man, that was great.
He's awesome.
Fantastic.
He's awesome. Like you know what I say this, but I want to give him a lot of credit. I don't know how many times I called him during the recruitment. He always picked up the phone. You know, he was always, you know, and not everybody does that. But he's always been great. He does a great job promoting his players. Obviously, look, everybody thinks, oh, if you have a lot of talent, it's an easy job. I think those are the toughest jobs. I've said before, North Shore is a tough job because there's a lot of expectations, and everybody, because North Shore had success, the next group just thinks it's going to happen. They don't know the process of why it happened. I think coaches, he's one of the great young coaches in Texas high school football. And when you get talented kids to buy into the process, and listen, and because he went to a school that had never done it before, that opened up.
It's hard. He built the culture of it. He built the championship culture. Yeah.
People think those jobs are easy. I think those jobs are very difficult. I mean, my years doing this, obviously my father coached 38 years. Yeah. Like I've said before, people think Coach Samples has the easiest job at Duncanville. I disagree. I don't think that's an easy job. I think that can be a difficult job. Yeah, it's great to have talent. Mm-hmm. But there's still one thing that has to happen. You all have to get guys who have all these offers and all these accolades to come together for the common goal. Yep. And that's hard when guys are getting all this attention. Some guys aren't getting as much attention. Guys are getting offers everywhere. You might have high school All-Americans, and you maybe have parents that think their kid's going to be a high school American. The reality is not. He's going to be a good high school player. You got to get all those guys to buy him for the common goal. And he won state pretty quick. It was really impressive. You got a great player. You had some really good players around that great player, but you still got to go get it done.
And do you know how old Coach exactly is? I meant to ask him and I didn't.
I do not.
He seems, because he seems relatively young for someone who's had that much success, but you can see why. You can see why. It's pretty clear as to why he's had so much success. Fantastic stuff there from Coach. So we appreciate Coach Randall coming on with us. Thank you, Jerry, for hooking that interview up. Absolutely. Too. Great stuff, as always. Thank you to everyone out there who I think we actually may have super chats left. Okay, here we go. Let's get super chat. Sorry about that. Rocky Poor. He says, OTF flexing that they the best with Aaron Ross coming on Coffee and Football this week. Oh, I didn't know that. Rod, do you have any good Aaron Ross stories you can tell? I don't have a ton of good Aaron Ross stories to tell. That like my personal stories with him. I mean, I remember he came. People forget. Like I was still there when Aaron Ross came on campus originally. Like when he was originally being recruited. Like came in that class. Now I think that was like I don't know if it was a JUCO thing or something.
Yeah, he set out an extra year for academics. He didn't want to go to JUCO, so he actually set out and was out of high school just to get qualified.
Yes, it was because I remember when Coach Aquino was recruiting him. And telling us, he was like, no, this dude's legit. Like he's twitchy. He's got loose hips.
He's got swivel hips, dude. That's the one thing.
He's got some sweetest hips you've ever. They really are. They're so sweet. They kind of.
I mean, his body can be pointing a little bit right, and his hips are already fully swiveled.
Yes.
I'm like, that's not normal.
It's not. We just talked about this earlier about the freaky, some guys, the hip flexibility and the knee and ankle flexibility. His hips, they were sweet. You talk about loose hips for DBs. He might have had the loosest hips in the history of DBU. Aaron Ross might have that. Also, if y'all don't watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, I don't know if he's still on there because I don't watch Real Housewives of Atlanta anymore.
I used to watch it. Yes.
Did you watch it when he was on it? Him and Sonya? I think he was reluctantly on it because he didn't get seen a lot, and every time he was on there, he didn't seem to be happy about it. But check my man Aaron Ross out; he's good people. Though.
Rod in the chat, if one of Aaron and Sanya's kids isn't like elite fast, it'll be one of the most surprising things of all time.
Shocking. Agreed.
Like if one of their kids isn't just an elite athlete with elite speed, it'll be shocking. That has to happen, right?
Because I think A. Ross is like a high 4.3 guy. Yeah. He's a 4.3 guy, and Sonya's a gold medalist sprinter. You should walk out the womb with a 10.5.
Yeah.
What did Coach say about LWC? Did he read a 10.5? Did he say 8th grade?
8th grade, yeah. He was probably 165, 170 in 8th grade.
Oh, my man. Oh, Marcus knows. He said Deuce is already pretty nice in football. There you go. See, Marcus already knows. He already got the scoop. Deuce is nice on it. Okay. Put the Daniel super chat up because Daniel, I apologize. I didn't see that. Thank you, Daniel, for the super chat. Said donation for Jerry's Corn Dog Foundation. Thanks,
guys. That may make an appearance in the morning. That could make an appearance in the morning, possibly.
And I think we have another one there. Oh, here's for one. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I drove through Brownsboro today. Really cool football stadium. Really cool. Oh.
And that's a used to be 3A. Like I went there for the first time in my years doing this. They were 3A school, I think in Carthage's district way back in the day. They've changed so much. I might be wrong on that, but they were 3A. They're now the 4A, which used to be 3A. I've told people for many years, if I had one Friday night left to go to a football game in Texas, I'm going somewhere in East Texas. I'm going somewhere. It may be the Lufkin Longview game if it's at Longview. It may be a Gladewater Gilmer. It may be somebody playing Carthage. But there's something just so, if you're just a pure football guy and you grew up like I did, there's something about those games in East Texas where you feel like the team that's on the visitor side, they definitely turned out all the lights in the town. The lights are off. Then they headed 30 or 40 miles to watch their team play. There's something about that that's just so special to me. I think I've been about everywhere over the years in East Texas, to all these stadiums, and they're all so cool on a Friday night. It's kind of like the farther we get away from 80s and 90s high school football, kind of how I grew up as a ball boy in Nacogdoches or something crazy like that when my dad was there. It's you kind of think about how special football is in East Texas.
It's good stuff, Jeff. Appreciate that. I think we're done with all of our super chats, if I'm not mistaken. But thank you guys so much. Juan, appreciate you. Appreciate you, Mike, as well. Cisco with the super chat. Thank you, Michael, as well. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Daniel. Rocky P, of course. Juan multiple times. Brandon multiple times too. Daniel, appreciate you as well. Thank you guys for all the super chats. Very generous of you. Thank you to Blake behind the scenes, because Blake's been twisting and tweaking the dials. So really appreciate his efforts. If we missed any of your questions, you can direct them to this gentleman right here and Bobby Burton bright and early tomorrow morning. That'll be a Monday morning coffee and football starting at 8:15 a.m. Then we'll have your Monday night live stream, The Winning Drive. Myself, Coach Bob Shipley, and CJ Vogel will be available for that one. So thank you guys for all the questions. Thanks to Coach Randall as well. Great interview with Coach Randall. If you missed it, please go check it out, man. He was fantastic. So we're really grateful for him taking the time, making the time for us. But for Jerry and for Blake and for all of our sponsors as well, Prize Picks and Von Lane, I'm Lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers. Until next time, hook 'em horns.